Evan stood before the crystalline throne, his heart hammering against his ribs, yet his face remained calm. The throne room of the Chathrine Empire stretched endlessly in every direction, its walls pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that shifted from violet to crimson, a reflection of Queen Shvara's fury. "Why does my daughter call you husband, human?" The alien queen's voice reverberated through the chamber, her forearms spreading wide in a gesture that among her species meant both challenge and disgust. Beside Evan, Princess Susan, though her true name was an unpronounceable symphony of clicks and harmonics, stood with her chitinous plating flushed deep azure, the Zothrine equivalent of defiant pride. Her compound eyes reflected 1,000 tiny images of Evan, and her hand, three-fingered and strong, gripped his with unwavering determination. "Mother," Susan spoke in her native tongue, which Evan's neural translator converted to something he could understand. "I call him husband because he earned that title. By our laws, by our traditions." Queen Shvara's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation. The Zothrine had ruled this sector of the galaxy for 10,000 cycles. They were warriors, conquerors, beings who valued strength above all else. And humans? Humans were the newest species to stumble into the galactic community, weak, short-lived, with no natural armor or weapons. "Impossible," the queen hissed. "The trial of 7 hells has never been completed by an outsider. No off-worlder has survived even the first challenge." Evan cleared his throat. "Your Majesty, with respect, I did more than survive." The queen's eyes, all 6 of them fixed on him with an intensity that would have reduced most beings to quivering submission. But Evan had learned something during his 3 years as a human diplomat on Zothrine Prime. Fear was universal, but so was courage. The trick was choosing which one to feed. "The first hell," Evan began, his voice steady, "was the pit of razor wings. Your champions told me no creature without natural armor could survive. But humans don't just rely on what we're born with, we adapt. I studied the razorwings' hunting patterns for weeks. I learned they attack reflection and movement. So I covered myself in the mud from the pit's edge and moved only when they slept." Queen Shvara's plating rippled surprise, grudging interest. "The second hell was the venom maze. Your toxins are lethal to most species, yes. But human livers are remarkable organs. We evolved processing all manner of poisons from our home world. I was sick for days, but I survived. Stubbornness is not strength." The queen spat. "No," Evan agreed. "But adaptability is." The third hell was the Chamber of Truth, where I had to face my greatest fear. For most of your people, it's physical death in battle, failure to protect the hive. But humans, our fears are often more abstract. I saw a future where I had to leave Susan, where diplomatic relations failed, where my love caused a war between our peoples. Susan's grip on his hand tightened. "The fourth hell tested combat prowess. I won't pretend I'm stronger than a Zothrine warrior. I'm not. But humans have been fighting each other for our entire history. We've developed thousands of martial arts, strategies, ways to turn an opponent's strength against them. I didn't overpower my opponent. I outsmarted him." A low rumble came from the assembled Ixothrine courtiers. Was it approval? Evan couldn't tell. The 5th hell was the trial of sacrifice, where I had to choose between my own life and that of someone I'd never met, a Zothrine child, trapped in a collapsing tunnel. Your people expected me to choose myself. "And yet you lived," the queen observed coldly. "So you chose yourself." "No," Susan interjected, her voice fierce. "He went into the collapse. He shielded the child with his own body. He nearly died, would have died if the rescue team hadn't reached them. He still bears the scars." Evan reflexively touched his left side, where jagged marks ran from ribs to hip. The 6th hell was the void walk exposure to hard vacuum without a suit. "Humans have been dreaming of space for millennia, Your Majesty. We trained ourselves, pushed our biology to its limits. I learned to meditate, to slow my heart rate, to maximize every molecule of oxygen in my blood. 3 minutes. That's all I needed. And the seventh hell? The queen leaned forward, and for the first time, Evan detected something other than anger in her tone. Curiosity, perhaps. Or was it recognition? The seventh hell was the simplest and hardest of all, Evan said quietly. I had to state why I was worthy of your daughter. Not to you, not to the council, but to her. I had to stand before Susan and lay bare every flaw, every weakness, every reason she should refuse me. And then I had to tell her why I loved her anyway, why I would spend my short human life trying to be worthy of her. The throne room fell silent. What did you say? The queen asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Evan looked at Susan, and in that moment, the entire empire could have been watching, or no one at all. I told her that humans may not be the strongest or the longest-lived species. We may not have claws or armor or wings, but we have something that has carried us from caves to starships. We never stop trying. We love with everything we have, for as long as we have it. And if that's not enough, then at least we loved trying. Queen Shvara was quiet for a long moment. Then, slowly, her mandibles relaxed, and her plating shifted to a deep green acceptance. Respect. The trial of seven hells was created 10,000 cycles ago, she said finally. It was meant to be impossible because it tested not strength alone, but worthiness in all its forms. In our history, only 12 Zathreen have completed it. She paused. You are the 13th. The first human. Perhaps the first to truly understand what we were testing for. She rose from her throne, descended the steps, and stood before Evan and Susan. With one of her 4 hands, she touched Evan's forehead, a gesture of blessing. My daughter calls you husband, human, because you have earned it. Welcome to our family. As they left the throne room hand in hand, Susan's melodic laughter echoed through the corridors. I told you. She'd come around. Evan smiled. You never mentioned the part about possibly being executed. Would you have done anything differently? He thought about it for exactly half a second. No. That, perhaps, was the most human answer of all.